The funny thing is when people, especially young people, get divorced after a few years into marriage, okay, maybe they've been married for a year or two or three, they blame them and accuse them of lack of patience, not being tolerant enough. They accuse the younger generation and say that, we are not like our parents, we are not patient, we don't understand what marriage is and all that. But then, if you look around the trends that we see today, we find a lot of divorce among older couples. I mean, couples who have been married for like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and even more. Then, it just got me thinking, if we blame the younger couple or the younger generation for lack of patience, how then are we going to explain the rate of divorce that we see among older couples? I mean, again, couples that have been married for a couple of years, 10, 20, 25, and so years. This just got me thinking, and I'm just here thinking, if marriage was that easy, or if marriage was only about patience, then why are we seeing divorce with couples that have been married for a long time? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mabel, and here on my channel I film about family, relationships, beauty, and lifestyle. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to our channel. Thank you for always tuning in. If you're new here and you just see me for the first time, welcome to our channel. Please subscribe to my channel, okay? Because here on my channel we learn, we share, and we have fun. So in today's video, I'll be discussing marriage, okay? Especially divorce and marriage, okay? Yes. The funny thing is, almost every weekend we see people get married. I mean, people, as much as people get married, that's how much divorce we are beginning to see these days. If we have 5 weddings in a week, we are almost seeing 4 divorces in a week. So it just got me thinking, and that's not the only thing that's gotten me thinking, okay? Another question that I'm beginning to ask myself is, if couples that have been married for just a few years, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 and below, get divorced, okay? The world, family members, friends, other couples, the church, just generally, everyone accuses them and tells them that they are not patient enough, they are not like their parents, the generation these days are not patient, they don't have persevering spirit, and just so many things. But if you look at the kind of divorce we're seeing these days, you just realize that divorce is also beginning to increase with older couples. So I begin to wonder, like, if we blame the younger people, the younger couple, for not being patient in marriage, for not being tolerant enough, for not having persevering spirit and all that, what then are we going to say about the divorces that we see with older couples? Okay, I mean couples that have been married for a number of years. Okay, so this really got me thinking, and I was just going to say, talk about it right now. In the case of couples, older couples that have been married for a long time, okay, when they get a divorce, what would you really say? Okay, would you really say that they haven't been patient enough? Would you actually say that they haven't persevered enough in their marriage? They haven't tried all that they could try? If someone has really stayed married with somebody for 20, 25, 30 years, I ask myself, is it really worth it to get a divorce? How did you really manage for that 25 to 30 years? Why are you now getting a divorce after all these years? So thinking about the rate of divorce we see among older couples, okay, I'm just here thinking and asking myself, would you say they haven't tried enough? Like, would you say they haven't been patient enough? They've managed their differences for 20 years, for 25 years. At this point, I don't think you can actually accuse them of not being patient, of not being tolerant, of not persevering, of not trying to make the marriage work and all that. So when divorce happened after that many years of being married, what then truthfully are we going to say is the reason for divorce? To answer that question, or to talk about that, personally, I would want to think that having been married for that long, you know what I mean? You know how people want to say, they stayed married for that long. Okay, staying married and being married for that long doesn't transcribe into having a happy marriage. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have been in a good marriage, they've been enjoying and experiencing successful marital relationship. Okay, yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. So what I feel usually is the case with couple who divorce after 30-25 years of marriage would be, personally, I would want to think and say that probably it hasn't been working all this while. Most of the time I feel like they've been married probably because they've decided to just stay married, having an understanding, co-parenting, and maybe even just staying and waiting it out for their children to grow to the age where they can probably understand better, if they tell them they were separating. So they don't want to like make, especially with marriage, especially with parenting, especially with women, especially, they want to be there for their children regardless. Okay, so a really good woman or a really good man or very good parent would want to co-parent and allow the children to grow to the point where they will be able to understand why the parents would have to separate. Okay, and I say parent, a good parent, because not being successful in a marriage doesn't mean you're not going to be successful being a parent. Okay, you can be a great parent, you can be great at parenting, but not great at being married. Okay, so yes, some people are experiencing great marriages, some people are experiencing doing parenting well. Some people have both together and it's working out well for them. So I still want to maintain the fact that you can be a good parent and not be a good partner. You can be a good mom and not be a good wife. You can be a good dad and not be a good husband. So I feel like most of these older parents, or most of these older people who get divorced after 20-30 years of marriage, like I said, they probably had just decided to stay in the marriage for the benefit of their children. Okay, so you see, I'm saying this thing because when the news about Bill Gates and the wife happened, a lot of people were a lot of people were in a hurry to jump into conclusion and say, oh this, oh that, oh this. But for me, I always want to thoughtfully think about things, and ask questions and just kind of create different scenarios in my mind and try to understand these things. Okay, they are really hard to understand. Marriage actually is a very hard institution. It's a lot of work. It's hard work. Okay, can it be easy? Yes, marriage as well can be easy, but sometimes people come online and say marriage is easy. Yes, there are a couple of people that I think have experienced easy marriage. Maybe they were able to blend, they are alike, they love the same thing, they have the same belief, they probably were raised in similar family kind pattern and all that. Okay, some people come from families that have the same family dynamics, family beliefs and all that, so it's easy for people like that to marry and get along, but it doesn't apply in every case. Okay, yes. So I'm not the one who come here and say marriage is easy and easy, because I know that marriage can be easy if you put the hard work to make it work, but at the same time marriage can be very difficult if you choose not to put in work, especially for both parties in the relationship. Okay, yeah, so I'm just thinking about it that when people get, because filming, I think this video of mine will be up probably a few weeks or a few days after my 90th anniversary. Yes, I've been married for 9 years now, and I would want to say that marriage is actually hard work. Okay, marriage can be difficult if we do not work hard enough to make it easy. Okay, yes. So when I see people who are probably going through divorce, or who are who are already divorced, or who are in challenging times in their marriages, I am not the one to judge, because marriage can be easy. At the same time, marriage can be really difficult. Okay, so on that note, I also want to say that the society doesn't prepare people enough for marriage. The church doesn't prepare people enough for marriage. The families don't prepare people enough for marriage. Even our parents don't even prepare us enough for marriage. But then, how well can someone actually be prepared well enough that the challenges in marriages, the struggles and the hard times and the differences will be avoided? How well can people be prepared, prepared enough for marriage, that divorce will never be a question? Okay, so these are the things I'm just thinking about as I'm talking right now. I'm asking myself, was I really prepared well enough for marriage, or did I just know the basics of marriage, or did I just know that marriage is an institution that I know that at some point I will get into, and all that? Did I really truly know how easy or how difficult being married is? Okay, so these are questions that are popping in my mind right now as I'm filming this video. That being said, how then can people really prepare to prevent divorce in marriage? Divorce in the early years of marriage, 0 to 5 years, or divorce in the later years of marriage. Marriages have happened for 20 years, 25 years, and 30 years. What are the strategies to really avoid divorce? I just wanted to come here and talk about it, not really reacting to any particular divorce that have happened in recent time, but I'm just here thinking, how society will blame especially the young ones for not being patient, not being tolerant, that we're not like our parents. Our parents have stayed strong in marriage for so many years. Again, being married for a long time doesn't transcribe into happy and successful marriage. Okay, so whenever basically people are going through divorce, whenever you hear people who are divorced, whenever you say divorced couple, don't jump into conclusion. Don't say this one wasn't patient. Don't also say this one doesn't have a persevering spirit. Don't say they did not work it out. They just want easy life. Okay, because I know I've heard people say marriages of these days, they just go in and out because they want it the easy way. It's not always the case. Yes, marriage can be easy as much as it can be difficult. If you choose to put the hard work in your marriage, it will be easy. But then when you choose not to work hard enough, then your marriage is hard. So divorce can happen at different points in a marriage, at different stages. Divorce can happen after 1 year of marriage. Divorce can also happen after 30 years of marriage. But then, whenever you see a couple who is going through divorce, whenever you see a couple who have just been recently divorced, whenever you see a divorced couple, don't just jump into conclusion, especially for those who are still married, who by the grace of God are still married. Don't jump into conclusion and start judging them and start finding fault and start thinking that, oh, the reason why they were not able to stay married. Oh, I know that they were not patient. Oh, I know that the younger generation, the marriages of these days, they just want the easy way out. Or no. You know why? Divorce can happen at different points in the marriage. Okay, either 5 years, it could happen 5 years after, it can happen 1 year after the marriage, it can even happen 30 years after being married. Okay, so I think if you work hard enough, you would have an easy marriage. But if you fail to put in the hard work in your marriage, then marriage will be hard. At the same time, marriage can either be difficult or easy. It just depends on how much work you put, how much effort you put, and so many other things. Okay, so I just wanted to come here and just talk about marriage as not being completely easy, except you put in the hard work to prevent your marriage from being hard. Okay, so this brings me to the end of today's video. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to like my video, share, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Okay, tell me what you think. What do you think is the real reason why especially couples who have stayed married for that long, 20, 25, 30 years, why do they really get a divorce? What do you think is the reason why, if they've been able to manage that long, they cannot just manage to the end? Okay, again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like my video, share, leave a comment, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.